Hello, everybody. This is Pottery 257 Stacking Bowl Vase. And in this project, we are going to be fine-tuning your bowl making ability because you actually are going to make 5 to 7 bowls and you are going to stack them, of which we have an example right there, kind of in the center of one of the first ones that we did. And in the assignment below, it's actually, you kind of do a little more than that because I do want you to have your best bowl kind of set aside for your place setting. So you can still kind of join in on the Pottery Ones project where we do the place setting. And I want to make sure you guys have something to eat out of with a bowl. You're going to make a plate the same way, as well as some kind of a basic cup as well. So we're going to kind of do two things at once here. So on this one, kind of the point of this project is it's your first one, getting back on the wheel again. So it all comes down to the bowl. So it's kind of the standard, and you're going to create, 5 to 7 of them. It does have to be an odd number because you are going to be stacking them on top of each other. If you can imagine, the reason why it has to be odd is if I have one bowl, it has an opening. So one's an odd number. 2 bowls, you stick them on top of each other so the lips are touching. You can kind of look at the bottom of that one. And so then you have your foot as your top, and that doesn't work. So you make a third bowl that you flip, slip and score it onto that foot, carve out where they connect so it is hollow all the way through. And that's how you get your stacks. Okay, so depending on how big you want to make this, 5 is the minimum, 7 is kind of the max. However, if you are really good at making bowls and you can center, get it made, and then go, by all means, we can try 9. If you want to, kind of reminds me of that 10 apples up on top book by Dr. Seuss. So ours would be 9 bowls stacked on top. So there's a couple trains of thought on how you could do this. One is it could be completely random, where you decide you'll just kind of make these bowls, and then once you have 7 of them, then you stop and you just see how they fit and just kind of roll the dice. And you might have 7, but then you might only have 5. If you do something like that, do vary your width. So while you definitely want some wider ones, like on the center one, there are 3 wide ones, 2 for the bottom, 1 for top. And then on the ones on the inside, they're not nearly as wide, because it's more creates that column and gives you a little more of your height, on that project. So it could be really random. Or the second way you could do this is that you could design a vase in terms of how you want them to look, and then break that up into segments, where you have 7 segments, and then you make a determination at that point that your first one, you're going to have wide, and you're going to decide that you want that 6 inches wide. And then you're going to make another bowl that also has 6 inches wide on top. So they will stack perfectly on the bottom. But on that second one that has that 6-inch wide, your narrow part of your foot, you're going to decide that's going to be 5 inches. So then the next one you make, the bottom on that's going to be 5 inches. And then you can kind of decide on that top. So you can start deciding the math in terms of your geometry on this, in terms of how you want to stack this. So the nice thing about that second way is you'll have a little bit of flexibility, but they'll stack. The downside with it is you just have to think about it a little more, and you're a little restrictive, in terms of your sizes. If you did it the first way, where you just roll the dice on that, you will have pieces that won't line up. And it's never been a massive issue. You just kind of deal with it. You make extra bowls because you might not end up using them all. Okay, so that's something to kind of consider as you kind of decide on this. And then we're just going to kind of have a fun glaze on there. Students that have done this project really enjoy it, so I think you'll get a kick out of it. But basic instructions right here, not basic, but just the assignment. It says throw 6 to 8 bowls because you always want to have a couple that extra, and then you need to keep these at a leather hard stage. So what that means is once you get done throwing a bowl, bag it up tight. Okay, don't let any air in there at all. Let that stay pretty moist. Then by the time you get to your 7th bowl, you want to kind of pull them all out, kind of see where they're at. And if you have some that are really wet, you want to bag them kind of loosely. And the ones that aren't, as long as they're not getting to past that leather hard stage where you can still kind of bend it a little bit without it breaking, You just want to make sure those are bagged up nice and tight so you don't get any dry, or you might even need to spray them. So you kind of need to babysit them, kind of depending on how long we spend on the project. Okay. Once they're all at that leather hard stage, then you're going to start slipping and scoring them together, and then carving out the sections where just the 2 feet hit, and then you just keep building it up. Video demonstrations. She doesn't do it the way that we do it, but I still want you to watch that video anyways. That's on your project calendar page. She does it a little bit different, but it's still fun. There's lots of different ways of doing pottery. So I just want you to kind of watch that artist, both part 1 and part 2. Basic directions, make 5 to 7 bowls, keep them bagged, slip and score them together, carve out the bottoms as you add each layer, and then obviously make another bowl for your place setting. So grade wise, 25 points, or half your grade is the construction of that vase. 20 points or another 40% is based on just the quality of it. So not just that it's well constructed, but just the quality of the entire design. And I'll give you 5 points or 10% of your grades for that bowl for that other part. So hope that helps. Hope you're excited about this one. This is a very one that people usually like, and good luck on it, and I'll be around to help you out. Thanks.